Welcome. How are you? How's
Hey,
everybody doing?
Doing well.
How are you?
Great.
Good.
I went someplace I've never been before.
Go on.
Quick Star.
All right. Talk about it.
It's cross
This is
town.
local news, everybody.
You guys, hold on tight. I thought it was just a regular gas station. Mm-hmm. No. And it's on the other side of the interstate. It's on the east side of the interstate.
Thank God.
Where we live. And
Yeah.
I'm like, when it went up, I'm like, I'm never going there. Not that
Okay.
it's negative, but I'm like, I have no reason to go to the other side of the interstate. I'm just like, there's nothing there. It's
Yeah.
just that. And so then today I just thought, I've heard good things about it. So I went there and I picked up this Arizona tea
Nice.
and an 8-ounce thing of like soup. I'm not sure how.
It was like a... It wasn't soup, right?
Macaroni beef.
Yeah, it's more like
I don't know.
it's like a goulash cousin.
Yeah.
Cousin of goulash, right?
Chili was gone. They had some other, like 4 or 5 different soups. I was scraping the bottom of the barrel at 4 o'clock in the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hoping for the best. But it's kind of interesting because it kind of, it's set up almost like a mini grocery store.
Okay.
And it actually had carts and shit where it's like, get out of my way. I'm just in and out. It's called a convenience store, and this is not convenient for me.
No.
You're in the way, Grandma. There
Yeah.
you go. So, yeah, I went there. That was pretty fun. It's exciting. This is my,
I haven't been there. I haven't been there. You know what we should do?
what?
We should say, welcome to the opposite of important.
Woo!
We're here
Welcome.
in our new and improved studio. It's not done.
No, never is.
You're probably right. It's never done.
Nope. It's a constant progress. Like
What do you think of the blue?
It's pretty bluey.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know.
But
If you spin around enough,
I
you
don't
get
know.
Purple.
I'm not sold.
Okay.
If you spin around enough, do you get purple? I could probably just make it purple.
You could.
We should take a poll.
We should ask our listeners.
I don't like choosing colors. It sucks. I'm not a fan.
It's like you pick a color, but then you're like, what tone?
I like yours though. I
Yeah.
like, and I told you this over the phone because I called and I said, "Hey, what do you think about the red wall versus something else?" I think you look good against red.
There you go.
I don't think I look good against red.
No. Some people do.
I don't know what it is. I think it's red with because you have dark hair
That could work.
so
yeah.
far.
Yeah. It could always go away.
It's starting to. You got some spots. You
Right?
got some.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
There you go.
Whatever. Anyway,
It's the lighting.
yeah, man. What's been going on? I'm trying to come down a little bit. I had a coffee this morning, and then so my brother came to help do stuff with the walls and all of that because I'm not going to do that shit by myself.
He's quite the construction artist.
Yeah, he's gotten really good at that stuff. And so he brought me a coffee, which was great. And then Becky was in Ames and she said, "Hey, I'm going to stop and get a coffee. Do you want one?" And I said, "Yeah." So I had 2 coffees.
Ah,
And they're not like, it's not like going to, fucking IHOP and getting just a mug of coffee. It's the amount that's in that is probably 2.5 times a mug. So I had that times 2. And then, so when you got here, I'm like,
zing.
yeah, but also trying to dish out my energy and get everything set to go.
Right.
So now I want to just calm down
Just like protein.
and be able to have a conversation. So I got my protein, I got my CBD here,
Yeah.
and yeah. So
Right.
I'm hoping we can have a quality conversation.
Yeah,
here
absolutely.
and not have me fuck it up. So yeah, how are things?
Good, yeah. Today it was just kind of a slow start. It was kind of dreary out.
Yeah.
Still kind of is. Not a whole lot of sun. Maybe rolled out of bed at 9:30 or something
bad.
like that.
Earlier than me.
I don't know. And then started watching some political TV show. It's just what Dad likes on a Sunday.
What's his go-to?
Oh my God, all of MSNBC, like wall to wall.
Okay.
Rachel,
Well, that's probably a decent medium.
and then he'll jump to Meet the Press every Sunday. If it's Sunday,
That's right. You told me that in the past. The Meet the Press is his thing.
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
All right.
I've grown up on that.
Okay.
Like, if you like it, you like it. If like, I just had no choice because it was Sunday.
Who hosts? Meet the Press?
Geez, because it was Tim Russert, David Gregory, and now
Tim Russert.
yeah, he passed. I have his autograph though. That was pretty cool. I did. I wrote to him like maybe a few months before he had his heart attack and passed away. And I wrote because I'm like, hey, my dad's birthday's coming up.
That's cool.
And we always watch your show every single Sunday, breakfast
Mm-hmm.
and everything. We didn't have a choice, but whatever. Yeah, and then a few weeks later, in the mail, to Bill, happy birthday, Tim Russert.
Nice.
I was like,
That's so cool.
And
Yeah.
it's in his office.
This is not news related or anything, but birthday autograph. It happened to be my mom's birthday coming up, and I met Nathan Fillion.
Aha.
And my mom does not know anything about Firefly, but she loved Castle. That was her. That was one of her favorite shows. So one Christmas, I got her one of the books that was supposed to be by Castle. Should have known she was never going to read it.
Yeah.
But then I was meeting him, so I just had him write "Happy Birthday" on a picture. It was something I had printed here in town. Whenever I go to a convention, I don't know what they're going to have, and everything's an 8x10.
Right.
And between you and me, fuck 8x10s.
You don't have
I
the
don't like 'em.
opportunity to make fill your wall space with
Right.
something kind of bigger. If you like this actor a little more
Yeah.
than usual, then here, 11 by
So
17.
I got a cool. I think it might have been 11 by 14, 11 by yeah, it would have been 11 by 17 ish niner, and I got it. It was a nice, cool blue background, and him and what was her name in the show? Beckett, I think, in Castle.
Never watched it.
I think so. Yeah, and then he just wrote to Chris, "Happy birthday," and it was really neat.
Nice.
So
yeah.
But
It's impressive.
Tim Russert.
Yeah, Tim Russert, David Gregory, and Todd. Chuck Todd. I want to say
That sounds right.
Yeah,
that sounds
so-
right. He's kind of blondish.
Yeah, and fish.
Yeah.
We call him Fish Eyes. His
Yeah,
eyes
that
are
would
real
do
big.
it. That would do it. Yeah.
So I think he does a good job. But I've been watching that show since middle school, just out of no choice, just because it's Sunday and it's Dad's turn to have the TV.
Nice.
It's like okay,
It's like it's Dad's turn.
all right,
Back off.
Yep. McLaughlin Group, we'd fucking watch. Oh my god.
Paul bought me a book by Tim Russert.
Yeah.
It was not autographed.
Boo. Try harder, Paul. No.
That would have been nice. Autograph would have been cool.
Yeah.
But I just got the book. It wasn't even hardcover. It's really sad.
Just you're supposed to
I'm such a dick.
you're supposed to splurge on these
Sorry,
things.
Paul. I love it. I do like it. Don't get me wrong. I like it. I'm not 100% a-hole. I'm like 45%
Yeah.
a-hole.
Tim Russert was in an interview.
Seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah, it'd be so cool to meet him. And Ames used to have the straw poll at Iowa State, like the right there with like Hilton and like Sheeman, that grassy area.
Yeah.
We used to go growing up, like every single time they had the straw poll, and it was like, I get it, we're Democrats, but it's fun to be like, that's where I met George W. Bush before he was even president. Like we walked in and he was just speaking right there. There's like 20 people in the tent.
What did he
like,
say to you?
what?
And do it in his voice.
We didn't like meet him, but like we were.
That didn't go the way I wanted
That's
it to.
true. Hey, how you folks doing? It was just like crazy because we're just walking in, and he was just like he like looked at us because we were coming down the aisle of trying to find a seat, and he was just kind of looking around, and I'm like, holy crap! And so my dad met like Steve Forbes in the past there, and like all the like it's crazy. It's just kind of neat, and then in an interview with Tim Russert. He said, "Oh, I actually went to Ames and ran into some of my colleagues, but he was incognito." This was actually when that's where he passed away, and people were talking about Tim Russert. It's like, yeah, no, I just Tim Russert went to the straw polls, but he didn't want to be recognized, so he was like incognito. It's like, hey, and it's like, oh my god, that would have been so cool to like. It's Tim Russert. Holy
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. CNN,
fun.
like it's just fun. Like big tents. They don't do it anymore, whatever, but
Yeah.
but it's like they have big tents and media's there and you can meet people and you're like, I don't know. It was just kind of cool. It was just kind of different.
Yeah.
Are we cool? Are we recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, everything's good. Everything's good. I had to check a thing over there. I had to
repeat my shit.
check it. I don't want you to repeat it.
No.
It's fine. No,
But
no.
yeah.
Don't mind me if I look over there. I just, we don't have any producers.
Right? Yeah, I know.
It's just me.
Maybe they don't know that. Maybe we can be like, there's 11 producers.
Jamie,
just stuff. Melissa, everyone else.
Fetch me my coffee. No, I don't need any more.
It comes out of frame. So yeah, we watched a little of that, and then we watched the Kevin Nealon special.
Nice. What'd they think about that?
Mom and Dad were cracking up and loving it, and Dad was like, he was funnier than I thought he was going to be. And
Wow.
I was like, thanks.
It's offensive.
Yeah, Mom was cracking up, and they loved Brad Paisley.
Okay.
Loved like his funny songs of My First
Yeah.
Cousin. That was funny. It was
That's good.
unexpected, but yeah. And then had some pizza this afternoon, and watched a little bit of Schitt's Creek.
Becky told me we're going to have like tenderloins tonight or something. And I understand I am not an average person that I like 90% of people probably fucking love that. I'm not stoked
You talking the one with the
about
bun,
the tenderloins.
and then like
Yeah, I think so. I'm guessing that's what it's going to be.
school lunches that were like boom.
Yeah,
Pow.
I'm just not stoked. So I would love some pizza.
That's such a Midwest. I don't know who came up with that.
Who came up with pizza?
Italians.
No, that can't be true. That can't be true.
Alexa's unplugged.
Yeah, she's she's out of order right now.
Crap.
It's fine.
Grab an encyclopedia. There you go.
We should talk about. We watched Social Dilemma
Yes, we did.
on Netflix.
Yeah.
And what were your thoughts?
It's a little more fresh in your mind because you just watched it. For me, it was like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a new thing on Netflix, and it's it was crazy to see.
Kind of a take on the Social Network. The same.
Yeah. So one, you come
of
into
title.
it knowing you already know this is just people take your data no matter what app or whatever.
I
thing you
think
have.
that there's a lot of people that still don't know because they're not too savvy.
But you
in
have
what-
to
in
know
what's
that
going on.
there's companies out there that are taking stock of. You go to these sites. You tend to go to Amazon and buy these items and this and that. So then it
Yeah.
markets toward. It's all for marketing. So I know that going into it, but then it was like, oh well, we basically make it so it. And then they said it kind of calibrates your brain because you want those likes and you want those interactions. And it's just interesting to see how it kind of changed your habits, that it's kind of made it so you need your phone, or at least you have that feeling that you need your phone to be like, oh, I just gotta, okay, well, I just need to check something. And then it was neat
It's
how
it's the dopamine.
yeah. And it was neat because it was kind of part documentary and then part movie
Yeah.
in a way.
I get what they were doing there. I didn't really care so much about the movie part. It was neat that I think it helped them break it up
Yeah.
a little bit, you know?
And maybe people took that movie part
Yeah.
as an example of this is kind of how it could unfold.
How it would
Yeah.
implement into your
Yeah.
life.
Like one of them you were talking about was lock it. Like there's like a, I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, it was a kitchen
Tupperware kind of
yeah,
thing?
it was a container with a timer on it. And I brought it up to you the other day while we were in the car because I said, once we get the rest of the furniture in here, and even if it's in frame, that's fine for YouTube. But I want us to put our phones in it, and we'll set it to at least an hour. So we know most of our episodes are about an hour
Yeah.
to an hour and a half, unless we go nuts. But yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know what exactly it's called. Some of them call them like a timed safe or
Yeah.
something like that. But I'm not buying a super expensive one. It can be plastic. It's
So
fine.
yeah, the movie, it had like this family that was, eating at the dinner table. Everyone's putting their phones in there and we're going to
That
put
was a
them.
little over dramatic.
And then one of the kids goes over and like fucking beats.
like beats the shit out of it to get their phone. And then apparently the parents were just fine with it and let her go upstairs.
Yeah.
It was weird.
And
You got to watch it.
Instead of give me your phone and I'm going to throw it at the window. I don't. Anyway,
That was a stretch.
that was. But I think
I mean, I'm
look what
pretty
you're watching.
forgiving and nice to my kids, but if they just beat the shit out of this thing to get their phone out of it, I feel like we would have a talk
Like,
of some sort.
let's counsel this,
It was
shall we?
it was weird.
Yeah, it was interesting to see the science of it because they interviewed people who like work in those kind of behind the scenes.
Right,
And
right.
it was just kind of neat and how this is how we pull information. You know, as much as you try to be anonymous online, there's ways that we can find information on you and they can use that to market other items towards you and how they can keep you coming back to social media,
Yeah.
which is so bizarre. But what do you think? Yeah.
Well, I guess as far as this whole topic, I could have led with this that about a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago, I got rid of Facebook. My profile still exists just because, and I think I need it in order to still continue doing my business stuff
Right.
on Facebook because everything's as far as I know, everything's kind of rooted in your original profile, and then you access your pages and shit from that. So I'm not sure that I can get rid of it.
Right.
But I knew that I needed to make some sort of announcement, but I didn't want it to come across as this weird grand exit, like I'm better than everyone else. I just needed to let people know because I didn't want somebody. I knew that you would know and close friends would know, but there's people just outside of that circle that maybe they would have said, "Oh, this is really cool. I'm going to put it on his page or tag him in it," and then
Yeah.
I'm not going to see it. I didn't want them to think that I'm just an asshole now
just like,
and
whatever.
ignoring
Yeah.
what's going on. So I figure as long as it's on my wall that I have this kind of announcement saying that peace out,
That's it.
that then everyone would know. I just became tired of
Yeah.
all of it. And my friend Paul had mentioned this to me, I think it was last weekend he was here. He said he had also, or maybe it's 2 weekends ago. I don't know what day it is anymore because all I do is work on this fucking basement. He said that he also became tired of the endless scrolling and exactly what they talk about in the documentary
Yeah.
/ movie, that your brain just keeps wanting more and more and more, and it bumps up the dopamine that's going through your brain, your system, and I don't know science, but I just got tired of it. And now that I've been so long without it, I do feel like I'm more productive. I'm not going to my phone very often. A long time ago, just because I was getting so overwhelmed, I decided to mute my email. And I know that there's somebody in the documentary that said that he was kind of addicted to email. And I don't feel like I was that way, but because I would get so many, my phone would constantly be going off, sending me a notification that it wouldn't pop up on the screen, but it would make a sound whenever I got an email. I think about a year ago, I turned that off. But now I feel like I could almost turn that back on because I don't feel so overwhelmed by my phone.
Yeah.
Because this is a whole side thing, but you and I watched Maria Bamford
Right.
live last night on Rush Ticks, kind of similar to what we did with the whole Kevin Nealon thing a couple weeks ago. But I feel like maybe I missed the opportunity to be a part of the Q&A or whatever on it because I missed the email. I didn't
Right.
get the notification. By the time I got to it and I clicked the thing, it was already full.
Like,
So that got me thinking about, well, maybe I can turn that back on and respond to emails
Yeah.
a little bit sooner or whatever. But if it gets to be overwhelming again, then fuck it, I'm
worth
out.
it. Yeah.
But
That's cool.
yeah, so I am off Facebook now. I have no intention of participating in that anytime soon, and it's quite nice.
Yeah.
And what I want to hear from you is what it would take to get you off of Facebook.
It's hard. I don't think I really can.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big part of, I don't know. It's sometimes I think of people that I haven't talked to in a while and I'll just drop them a line.
What if-
And it's like, and I think part of it is my cancer. I don't want to pull the cancer card, but there's people out there that I haven't really heard a update or I hope he's doing okay. And
Yeah.
I think that if I didn't have cancer, it'd probably be a little easier to kind of back away. But it's also, I like to put stuff out there being like, hey, we're at this milestone. I'm doing fine. Thanks for your support. But I haven't, I guess on the other side of the coin is I haven't been posting a whole ton. Like a couple years ago, it was like a couple things a day of a joke or a meme or this. And it's like, I'm just flooding. People don't like that. And I hate that because I scroll through and I find someone that's like, there's a meme. Oh, I know who posted that. And I look at of course. And then another. So
it's just too much shit.
Especially around politics. And then there's advertisements.
And I don't think that post-election that it's going to get better. I think that our country is it's going to continue down this path. Hopefully there's some repairing of relationships between the two parties, but I just don't see it happening anytime soon. And I feel like regardless, and this is a whole other topic, but regardless of the outcome in November, it's going to get bad.
So,
and all of that is going to be showing up on your feed, and it's gonna, that's what it's going to be, and probably what it is right now, at least from the last couple times that I checked in, is that it's these memes about everything's too much and fuck it all, and and some jokes put in there, and sprinkled in every third thing is another political
ad
post or ad. Like tons of those now.
It's like weird.
And I hate that I'm okay. Like, I feel like I need something, and I want to be able to post pictures or post something somewhere. So that's why I'm going to Instagram. But I fucking hate that Facebook bought Instagram.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It used to be its own thing.
And when I updated it, and now when you log in, it says Instagram by Facebook.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you. Like, why do you want people to... There's a lot of people that hate you, like me.
Right.
So don't put your name on it. Just let it stay Instagram. Why does it need to be... Not that it changes the fact that they own it. I just don't want to see Facebook on my phone. I'm just over it because I don't like it. And now more celebrities and people are doing sponsorships or ads for companies. I think like Terry Crews does stuff from time to time that are ads for things. I saw that Allison Hannigan does it. I forget who the fuck else. I don't follow that many people on Instagram, but occasionally I think Allison Hannigan's thing that I saw was like a mustard beer.
Like, okay.
Or something. Yeah, like a mustard flavored beer. But like more power to her. She's making some money right now while everybody's stuck at home. So yeah.
There you go.
Here, in her thing, she says, I love the taste of mustard, and try this. It's a mustard beer.
Yeah.
But I'm digressing a lot. I'm wondering, would you ever, and I don't give a shit what you do. I just want you to be happy, Joe. I just want you to be happy. But would you ever consider taking it off your phone, but only using Facebook on your laptop or on your iPad?
I could.
Because then you still have access to it.
Right.
But
it's not in your like right there.
How many times a day do you think that you get on? And I'll answer this too. How many times a day do you think you get on Facebook just to check in and see what's going on?
Too much.
Yeah.
It's just a weird thing. Like I'll be working.
It is weird, right?
And then back on, if there's a lull, and then I'll just kind of 2-3 things and go back into work, and then 2-3 things. And, it's just kind of, it is a little distracting, but that's how this whole thing started. Was back when it, 07, when I got on it, it was only when you're on your laptop and it wasn't in your pocket. So it was kind of different. It was kind of cool.
Well, and that's what I said in my post in a weird, I did it in a weird way because I always have to be, I don't know, stupid about things. Be original in how I say something. But I don't know. I was just trying to make it kind of at least entertaining to read. But I just stated the fact that Facebook is not the same that it used to be. Nothing's the same about it. What I liked about it at first was that it was a means in which you can communicate with your friends. And back then it was closer friends and
Yeah.
not your friends plus their aunts or uncles commenting on something that you share with them, and then all of these random people with their own opinions about this thing, whatever it may be. What I liked about it is the ability to talk to friends, and then a place where I could upload photos that I thought in the future I would look back on this in order to have a place to access photos. And then it got to be like a lot of work, and then you end up having it almost bogged down your page. You had too much shit on there, and it just got to be a pain in the ass. I'm telling you, man, I'm about ready to go back to photo albums.
Right? It's just
And not like overwhelm the photo albums, because we take way more pictures now. But if we go on a trip, pick, narrow it down to 100 photos, put it in a book. Done.
yeah, and
I mean, I got a lot of fucking shells.
it took me a while because I wanted to years and years of meeting celebrities and you name it. I spent one afternoon basically scrolling through every fucking photo I've ever had and being like, save.
I remember you doing that.
Save. And then I made my own because enough people were like, didn't you meet this person? And then I'd have to sit there for 20 minutes. Hold on. And then I'm just like, fuck it. I'll put it in an album. And then I posted that album of just celebrities, and then everyone was like, holy shit. And it's like, right? It's like, I know I've met a few people, but it's a lot of work. And then it's hard because like I have an autograph wall, and that's fun. It's tangible. It's cool. But I'm like, man, that would be fun to take those photos that I just put digitally and print those off and have it on the coffee table. Not that I have guests over, but like, time to time, someone might flip through and be like, what? You met so-and-so? Oh, yeah, no. And then you tell the story about it, and then you have a real connection to it. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do that all the time too.
Right?
Like if I meet somebody that's a Doctor Who fan or a Back to the Future fan, and I can never remember what fucking album it's in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is it under my uploads, or was it in an actual album, or what? Maybe I didn't put it in at the time that I took the trip. I put it in later because people kept asking about it. So then I don't know where the fuck. And you can't like do a search for a photo name or anything like that. It sucks.
It's it was different. I don't know. I enjoy being connected to people and having access to at least say hi, even if they don't give a shit about me. But that's the cool part. And I've met some cool people through just having cancer that I don't even know, but we've had conversations with a guy named Rene from the Netherlands, and he's a drummer. It's like, what the heck? This is really cool. And, he sends me voice messages and, hello, Joe, I hope you're doing well. We are drumming today. We had a very good session. And it's just like,
Nice.
It's pretty impressive. And he's like, one of these days when you're through with cancer, now I'm getting into the Indian voice, but
Is that not what the Netherlands?
Nah,
Okay.
wait a minute. So it's changed a bit, and I don't know. I mean, desktop version might work,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I just get rando text.
I know, and I'm not being judgy at all because I used it a lot. I found myself checking it a lot. I found myself, I bet because of Marketplace and I wouldn't call it an addiction, but somewhat of going through that, I probably spent more money than I needed to.
It's easy, and you're like, oh, great.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not getting rid of Amazon.
Right.
I understand Bezos is the devil. And didn't he donate some money recently?
Sure.
Was that a thing?
I don't know.
I feel like he did.
Okay.
I feel like he did. So people were, I mean, if anybody was going to tell us, it would be Alexa, right? It's so
Unplugged.
sad. It's so sad. She's right
It's
over
like
there.
MTV, Alexa Unplugged.
Alexa. And it's just silence for an hour.
Just shouting questions.
People in the audience shouting questions, and then it just a shot of Alexa just sitting there not lighting up,
Boop. Like, Alexa
and then
Unplugged.
people in the audience looking to each other. Do you know? Do you
I
know?
was hoping for that recipe too. I don't know.
So don't get me wrong. I spend plenty of money on Amazon, but it was just extra stuff here and there that I probably didn't need. And maybe the fact that we had to rip apart our basement and start from
fair.
scratch is a blessing in disguise
Yeah.
because I'm able to consolidate, get rid of some things, and kind of start fresh and not have shit everywhere. Right?
Yeah. So I don't know. I like Facebook. I built a ton of friends, family, community. Like
And well, you're not abandoning them.
no, but then you go to Instagram. I don't know when Instagram came out, but I have
That's an excellent question.
I'm a little more picky on Instagram because I didn't want it to be like Facebook where everyone and their dog, like, because it was just so repetitive. Because I'm like, here's the same photo. Now I got to put it over here on this platform. Now,
Yeah.
And then I'm on Twitter, but I barely use Twitter. Like I was kind of using it when it was new, didn't quite get it.
I don't like Twitter.
And Twitter now is like they're allowing you more than 140 characters. And it's like now that's a source for news. And it's, I don't know. It's just kind of, I'll use it.
Twitter is not a place for you or I to be heard. It's a place for celebrities to be heard and
Yeah.
people that follow them or politicians.
Yeah.
Same thing. I mean, most of the politicians are celebrities.
I'll use it to follow comedians because some comedians are only on Facebook, some are only on Instagram. And, sometimes you get information by, follow me on Twitter and here's my dates. And so I kind of use it more for entertainment purposes instead of news or anything. I'm like, good God, if you could pull up my tweets from 2008, it's just like going to work. All right. It's just like no one cares.
Yeah.
I don't know. So Twitter's even changed a bit too, but I'm never on it. I have the app, but I'm just never on it.
But don't you think that in the future that people are going to feel the same way about Facebook?
I think Facebook is somehow not everyone's grandma and aunts and uncles are on Instagram or Twitter.
No, that's
but
true.
everyone and their dog is on Facebook. So I think they're going to keep the engine running.
Do you ever feel overwhelmed by it?
It depends. I think nowadays it's a different climate. People aren't traveling as much, and I think it was more fun to see like vacation photos and like, oh wow, they're in Colorado. That's pretty cool. That's the stuff I enjoy. Is like, where did they go? Oh, neat. They're letting people know that they went to go visit their grandma on the East Coast or something, you know. And now it's like I think people are bored and they want their voices heard.
Yeah.
And so they're gonna put political garbage and whatever the heck it might be, whether it's true or false, just to fucking throw it out there. And I really try hard not to ever. I'll read comments all day. I'll try very hard not to comment unless I know my shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm going to get my ass handed
Well, that's
to me.
smart though.
And I'm just like, nah.
Right.
And even my own page, I like to be mindful of what I post. I'm like fun stuff, cancer, jokes, maybe. Fun, not too like divisive or anything. And that's my page. And I haven't really been posting a whole lot because I don't want to I don't want to blast Facebook because there's a lot of stuff there I think is fun.
What do you?
But I don't want to blast Facebook.
What do you feel like you gain out of getting on Facebook? Let's be conservative. I'm going to say that this is conservative, and I think you'll agree with me 20 times a day.
Probably
Yeah,
without realizing it or
exactly.
I
bet I was doing this maybe close to 20, maybe. You know what's strange is not having it when I go to bed.
Sure. Kind of
And-
like get your eyes tired kind of thing. And
Yeah.
just-
Well, I'm not sure that it was getting my eyes tired. I think that it was. I think I thought that it was helping me wind down, but now that I've gone to bed without looking at my phone, I feel like I was worse off with it. I think it just prolonged me going to bed.
Sure, that
and
makes
it wasn't actually getting me like wound down or anything.
So you
like
go to
that.
bed at 10, let's say. And you
Yeah,
start-
let's
well,
say I go to bed at 10.
Well, you can pick a time.
2 o'clock.
Top of the hour. And
Yeah.
then you start scrolling. You might fade away around whatever, 30.
Yeah.
Versus
Yeah.
now you don't have a phone. You might be fading away at like 15
Mm-hmm.
or something like that.
So if I feel like I need some sort of thing going on, I'm usually rocking headphones or something and listening to the
Good
end
idea.
of
Yeah.
a podcast or middle of it. But I have no problem with that. Holding down the button, turning it off, and throwing them off the bed.
Like boosh.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think for me, I think I need it just because of just entertainment. Like
Mm-hmm.
as far as like I like to follow a lot of comedians, and they post a lot of dates. And it used to be another thing I miss was like band pages. Like first couple years of college, you would think of your band and like, I wonder what and they would have a .com whatever website. And what are Foo Fighters up to? And apparel, everything was there.
Yeah.
And then they'd have here's our list of dates for 20 whatever. It's just like, and now not a whole lot of bands have. If you go to a band website, they don't have a whole lot because it's all Facebook and it's all come see us over here. Here's our dates and hit this for tickets. And so I think the big part of it's entertainment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad to check in with friends and family, but
I think that you could probably achieve all of that same stuff just by checking it whenever you're on your laptop or iPad. Like if you set time aside. Again, let me reiterate. I don't give a shit what you do, but I can tell you that I feel great without it. And I was never one of those people, they talk about it in the documentary too, that the teaser, we're going to come right back. It's commercial time.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I didn't have Facebook, like in December, Nick Swartzen wouldn't be a thing for me.
Fair.
So that was like, but how often does that happen?
But would you have, let's say, and not that you would, hey, we're back.
Hey.
We're back from commercial.
Did you get a
Just
drink?
so you know.
Settle
I gotta, wait. So I had the coffees. We know I had plenty of that.
Coffees?
Now I had the protein. Now we're gonna slow it down.
Here we go.
We're gonna relax a bit.
Sweet tea.
Arizona, Killcliff, CBD.
Killcliff.
It's get the. That was weird. What was that?
Where?
Get the orange, not the strawberry flavor, because that is not good.
Boo.
I am gonna be real with you. I have no idea what I was talking about.
That's
before.
fair.
But
I think you tricked yourself, and then you went into
maybe
different...
I did, or maybe I didn't know what I was going to talk about anyway, and so I was trying to get out of it by saying, we'll be back, and then I'll have it.
Magic.
I don't have it.
Sad.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, that was an interesting doc though, because it was just like some people on Facebook were talking about it, you know, and they're I'm gonna jump ship. Like people say they're gonna jump ship for attention.
Yeah.
And they never fucking do. But your path, it worked, you're like, this is how I feel, this is what I'm gonna do, versus, I'm thinking of getting rid of it. And it's like, then they never do. It's like, make up your mind.
Was there anything in the documentary that you found surprising, something that you didn't know?
I think it was just more, I knew that there was methods of getting your information, like I said earlier, but I think the more, there was one guy that just had like the dreadlocks and he was kind of a heavier set dude, and he was saying something like, it's made to change how you don't know you're being programmed.
Right.
And it's like, what? And I guess I've had Facebook for 13 years and it's just been the norm where it's just, I got to check.
Yeah. Everything's gradual.
Yeah.
All of the changes that have happened on Facebook, starting with, I believe Facebook started with one school and then it was like 10 schools. And the University of Iowa was pretty close up there. And it was just after that I was able to get on. Then it started branching up.
You were on, to clarify, you were on when you had to be invited by someone, right?
Correct.
Okay. I was on it right when it became public.
Yeah.
So I didn't get that.
I was on when it was invitation only, which was weird. And I remember thinking that it was weird, but it was like this private thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know when the ads started happening. I don't know if that coincided with the whole going public. And that's when they figured out that they could start making money. But the ads at first weren't like they are now. And it's also frustrating because they make the ads look like they're not necessarily ads.
Yeah.
And people that aren't that smart about that stuff. Not to be offensive or anything, but that's the thing. They're going to think that it's real, you know? And I mean, for any of my businesses, I can put up an ad and I can have it say whatever the fuck I want it to say. And unless there's something offensive or if somebody flags it as being false advertising or untrue or whatever, they could probably file a claim about that. But I don't even know if that would go through it. I mean, that's the whole Russia thing. You know, that's how all of that is.
It
happening.
seems like every fourth or sixth ad is advertisement. So you get like uncle, friend, and then advertisement, and then it's like uncle, friend, or whatever the heck it might be. So it's changed so much. But it's weird. I don't know. Messenger is pretty cool. Like my dad doesn't have Facebook, you know, but at least we're able to communicate still. And
I'm almost getting tired of that too. I first of all, if it wasn't for let's say Becky occasionally, like maybe twice a month, and then Kara every week or so, I don't want to be on Snapchat anymore. We're in group things on Snapchat where there's something always happening, and within those groups, there's people that I don't even know or barely know.
Yep.
And so I stopped notifications from Snapchat, but I haven't pulled the plug on that one yet, which I feel like I should do. It's just TBD on when that's going to happen. But then the Messenger, I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm in 8 different group messages, and it's relentless.
It is.
It never stops.
No, our group of friends has like 8 different ones. We got the movie group, we got the stage theater group, we got this.
Well, and don't get me wrong, I want to be included on things and know about events that may be coming up and have the ability to let everybody within said group know that I'm planning something, or, you know, if they're planning something, I would love the invite and the opportunity to go, but it's all the time.
Yep.
I have one that you're not in that is friends from high school. And one of my other friends made the observation, sometimes I want to say there's maybe 10 people in it. And occasionally, let's call it once a week, there is like a 24-hour long cycle that within 24 hours, obviously people aren't up for 24 hours, but within 24 hours, there will be a conversation between 2 people that could be in a text message.
Another side.
And it's just, and but because everybody's right there, they're like, oh, I want to talk to this person. Well, they're right there. Let me send a thing between them. And there's some riffs in there. There's some clashing from time to time. And it's all happening in front of all of the other friends. And I'm just constantly getting notifications about it. And yeah, you can turn it off for like an hour or 24 hours or whatever, but it's still there.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
And then you scroll through, you're like, what the fuck did I miss?
I just don't want to see it.
God.
So
I don't know. Messenger's okay. I mean, I block what I need to block and watch what I want. You know, it's just kind of another avenue of information. Snapchat, you know, is different because at least in the dating world, that's like where everyone shifts over to. So you can talk on Tinder or whatever app it might be, but those apps don't allow you to send photos.
I should get on Tinder.
So then everyone switches over to Snapchat, and then you can like send photos and have to be a little bit more personable, I guess. So that's kind of a weird. I was explaining that to my parents, like, no, you just meet someone and then you move over to another platform. It's just a different thing.
I would encourage you, actually, just right now, I realize that we are wearing the exact same color scheme.
Yeah.
With the exception of your shorts and my pants.
Fair.
That's funny. Black and white and gray.
Just kind of comedy corner.
Great minds think alike,
right?
My friend.
Uh-oh.
I would encourage you, much like what you did with the black and white, to try it for a week.
I did do the black and white.
And see, Oh yeah, that's why I said
Yeah,
like the black and white.
Oh, yeah.
I would encourage you to try getting rid of Facebook on your phone for a week
Ah.
and just use it when you have downtime with your iPad or your laptop and just see what happens.
Oh boy.
And then pay attention, because I went through this same thing. Pay attention to how many times you just instinctively go to your phone.
And you're like, nope.
And it's it just like they're saying in the documentary. Maybe this is what I was going to say earlier. It's owning you,
Yeah.
and it's fucking weird.
And you don't even know it because
Yeah.
you're just attracted to your phone.
Well, you're just in it.
Yeah.
So you're not thinking about it.
Yeah.
This is weird, but true. It's kind of the same way that I think about when I'm a videographer and I go to a church service for a wedding. And it's normal if you're in the congregation. If you're standing back and watching the congregation and observing it, you're like, this is weird. What's going on right now?
Yeah.
And that's kind of it's not the exact same thing, but that's what it made me think of. When you're doing it and you're invested in that lifestyle and you're used to looking at your phone 20 to 40 times a day, and it's just a thing that you do, it's a tick, you know. It's a instant reaction whenever you have downtime and it's right there. You're used to it.
Yeah.
You don't think about it at all. But if you step away from that and you don't constantly do that, and then you see other people doing it, it's
Yeah. I'm sure it takes
or-
you back
yeah.
to like when smartphones were new
yeah.
and everyone's nose was, it's like, look both ways. Hey, you're, like,
I remember I had a party. I can't remember if it was a birthday party or what, but I had a friend come by that I hadn't seen in a while. And I don't know what the circumstances were. It's none of my business. I don't care. But she had her phone in front of her and she looked at it, I'm telling you, every 3 minutes. Every 3 minutes. And just tapping it, checking the time, seeing if there's any messages or whatever. And it was my party. Everybody that I cared about was there. And that was that. So why do I need my phone? And to see other people with how they were with their phones just kind of opened my eyes a little bit. And I don't want to be judgy, you know.
Right,
I just got rid of Facebook like a week ago.
right.
You know. I get it. I was using it all the time. But now that I'm not, it just makes me wonder how, like, I wonder if there's a way on your phone that you can see how often you're actually on Facebook in a 24-hour period.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
similar.
I wonder if it would have added up to like 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have.
There's stuff that's similar
Yeah.
of it's not necessarily for Facebook, but it's just like how much time are you on your phone?
Okay.
And I think it breaks it down to like entertainment versus,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, you're on your phone for 2.5 hours or what? Oh, geez, I didn't realize, one thing I love getting sucked into is YouTube because like
I'm not there yet.
Well, I pay for YouTube, so I
That
don't
is
get the
nice.
ads.
Yeah.
And YouTube can play in the background. So if you don't pay for it and you get out of YouTube to like check, let's say Facebook, because I was doing that where YouTube will shrink down to the
minimize.
bottom, and then you can still operate other systems if you pay for it.
Yeah.
Kind of nice feature, but I like that I don't have.
So
to
the
deal-
app is still on.
Yeah.
And you can check your other things.
The window
while it's
just
still-
floats. Yeah,
Okay.
it just
All
floats,
right.
and you can move the window around if you pay for it. And like that's pretty cool.
Nice.
But that's something that like I can pick anything I want, and I can avoid whatever bullshit I don't want to hear.
Yeah.
And then I can get into communities and read comments that are like, oh, okay, and then I can respond. I can do that,
Mm-hmm.
So it's just different because it's fun because you never know what video you watch, and then it leads to another video that you're like, oh shit, I didn't think of that. A rabbit hole of
I would probably say that YouTube is not as bad though.
No, and that's why I do it. That's
Yeah.
why I try to get into those where
Yeah.
you can make your own community. You can subscribe to whatever you want to subscribe to. It's kind of like the likes on Facebook. If you like it, you're going to see more of it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the case might. And that's the thing with Facebook is you learn some of the algorithms throughout time.
Now that was one of the things that they said in the documentary, though.
What?
Is as far as YouTube is concerned, they said never click the recommended videos button.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
I don't know.
It's something about like not letting them really know, where you're leaning or whatever. Because once you start clicking the recommended videos, then they're going. So let's say you're watching a Biden video, and then it pops up with another Biden video that might be a little bit conspiracy-ish. And it's kind of like testing you to see what you are into and what
bite?
you like.
Are they going to
yeah. And then if you click that, and then you kind of go down that rabbit hole, because they were fucking talking about Pizzagate.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember that, yeah.
And they say then if you click that one, and then they pop up with another one, then they might throw other weird conspiracy shit your way.
Yeah. That's totally it.
And just kind of reprogram your fucking brain.
Well, Facebook's kind of the same way in the respects of if you comment or like on anybody's post, you're going to see more posts from that person.
Yeah.
And it's been interesting. Like, there's some people who are like, I don't like their posts. Like, I'll scroll and see it, but I'm not commenting and I'm not liking. But I see it at least a couple times a day. So I'm like, how's this working? But for people who I give a shit about or whatever, I'll throw a like up in there. I'll maybe throw a comment of, oh, that's cool. And I see their posts a little bit more often. It's kind of weird,
Yeah.
But I don't know. Facebook's weird. But I love YouTube for some reason.
That's one of the last things that I remember experiencing on Facebook was I was getting stuff that people that I barely knew were putting things on like swap sites or uploading to Marketplace.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't give a shit about why. Why am I seeing this come up in my notifications? And then I went to go stop the notifications. And I can't remember if it didn't let me or if it did. But then like an hour later, I got that this person had posted another thing. I'm like, what the fuck do you want from me?
When Marketplace came to Facebook, I don't know when that happened, but that changed shit for me. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Because you can just scroll and comment.
Just keeps going.
And just be like, oh, I like those chairs.
Don't get me wrong. I've gotten some cool shit.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want too much shit.
Right.
And I was borderline there.
Right. It's so easy.
I mean, I guess maybe some people would have visited my house and said, you are there.
You send, you just send a meme send a message. Is this available? Yeah, sure. Okay, great. And I've had oh my God, I don't know about you. Have you sold stuff on Marketplace?
Yeah, I have.
I've tried, but actually, yeah, I've tried it once or twice.
Nobody wants used dildos.
No, but sanitize them and you're good to go. So
just boiling water.
I don't know if have you ever had to like, I'm assuming you probably had some cool people. No big deal.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to buy this item. Great. Cool. Done.
Yeah.
I had this guy that tried to talk me down where I'm like, this is the price. This is what I want.
Yeah.
And I forget if it was the bike or if it was the fridge or
I think maybe it might have been the fridge.
I think it was the fridge.
I feel like
because this guy was because the fridge I was trying to sell for like $500. And then he was like talking me down like, dude.
I think I remember you mentioning this.
He just like started trying to like, we didn't really have a conversation. It was like a one-sided conversation.
Yeah.
And he was just like, dude, 500. No, dude, I'll give you like, can you come down to 300? I'm like, that's my price, dude. Like it's like,
take
dude,
it or leave it.
Yeah. And then he just kept on going like, it's not even like, fine, I'll give you 200. I'm like, what? You think that's a better deal that you're going to give me less money for?
Right.
It's like, I'm like, dude, fine, 150. I'm just like, this is one way. Like, all right. Like, I don't know how you're helping yourself in this situation. Fine, $10.
Like, keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
Like I'm going to bite at such a low
Right.
price or something. But, even then it's pretty fun to I've bought a lot of stuff and that's the fun part. Is like, hey, are you free? Great. Okay, I'm free this day. I'll meet you in the parking lot over here. And then you just kind of, great, here's money. Okay, bye. And just like, it's kind of weird, but you meet people in a weird way. And then Facebook Marketplace started doing like rate your seller. You know, were they on time? Were they fair prices? Were they good to work with? So
Yeah.
that way, people.
I don't think I've ever done that.
It suggested when I bought something, and then I think I sold something, and it's like so and so rated you and said you were timely and nice, and I'm like, okay, you know,
Can you get rated on Tinder? Because you should.
that would be something else. You can get verified on Tinder now. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. Like,
Is that like how it is on Twitter? That
it's a blue check mark.
celebrity status?
It's stupid. I don't know. I don't quite
No, all of this is stupid.
because it
but-
says okay to get verified, you need to do a couple steps. Take a picture of yourself doing this pose, so they know it's you, maybe, and you're not being fished and using other photos.
It's so weird.
Okay, and then you got to do one where you have to like tilt your head or something like that and match it. So you do 2 photos where you match what they have on the phone.
Okay.
And then they review it, and then you get an email saying you've been verified, and you get a little, this is actually you, and not like you're not getting catfished or something. I don't know.
right.
It was weird. It was weird,
right.
but I don't know. I'm not really on that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I still pay for it, but it gives me some perk.
It's because you got a lady friend.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. Tinder used to be fucking free, and that was
Yeah.
it.
Do you not want to talk about your lady friend?
And not really. And I mean, I like her, don't get me wrong.
No. I know.
But then there's all these fucking paywalls. Now, if
Yeah.
you go there where it's like, you only have so many likes. And if you pay more money, you get more likes.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can super like someone, but you only have like 4 or 5.
Super like?
Yeah. So this will give them a
I
notice.
super like you.
It's weird. So left is no, right is yes. And if you super like them, you swipe up. And so that's like a whole nother category of like letting them really know, like, hey, I like it, you know.
I'm
And
already exhausted.
It is fucking weird. And then, yeah, there's like, you know, different paywalls that if you pay for this subscription, you can promote yourself during these hours, peak hours during Friday night. And you will be seen by.
Promote yourself.
Yes.
It's like selling ad time on the
Yes.
radio. Peak hours.
And then there's like World Tinder, which is like, what the fuck is this? And it's like,
In case you want to travel, but you don't know where to. So you meet the person there, and then that's where you go.
that's it. So when you're flipping through, you see that someone like, oh, they kind of look pretty, you know, and then you look at where they're at, and it shows, you know, usually it shows like how many miles away they're at.
Yeah.
Some might say where like they're at, what city they're from or town. Like, oh, okay, it says Boone or it says this. Some might say 10 miles away, and that's all they say. This one, you get someone that's kind of attractive looking, and then you look and it says they're 5,000 miles away.
Wow.
So then you're like, what? And I've matched with a few of them where I'm like, this is not worth my time.
I'm not an expert, but please don't go to Boone.
Okay.
There's nothing good there.
Sorry, Jenna.
Nothing good. Is that where she is?
Yeah.
Oh. But that's not where she's originally from.
That's a good question,
Right.
but that's where she is.
She can't be. She's not originally from there.
Let's have her on.
All right, let's call her.
Actually, that would be hilarious.
Have you told me she was from Boone?
She lives in Boone. I don't know if she like no, she grew up in Minnesota.
Okay.
She grew
So,
you know.
see, that's safe.
Yeah, that's right.
That's an unfortunate choice.
Money wise, I
Yeah,
get it. And she's got
suppose.
the kids.
I get it. It's fine.
I get it.
I don't want to knock Boone, but it's just terrible.
Right?
It's so bad.
They have an okay campground. That's okay. Ledges. Is out.
So they have okay outdoors,
Yeah.
very similar to every other town around it.
Ledges, man. That's the place to go.
Is that considered Boone?
Yeah, it's a little south of Boone. Technically Boone.
It is.
It's the closest to any other
All right.
town.
I'll allow it.
So they say Boone.
I take it all back, Boone. Can we be friends?
Can we take it all away? So yeah, it's like dating has changed a bit with the apps, and so
Yeah.
it's just kind of. And then you bring Facebook into the mix because you want to like look them up.
Remember when it was such a fucking huge deal to change your status on Facebook? Is that still a big
what do you
thing?
mean?
Your relationship status.
Oh yeah,
on Facebook.
Okay. It's
Or does nobody
yeah.
give a shit anymore?
I don't think people give a shit anymore. Like, great, you're married, cool. Oh, you're single. What happened? Whatever.
Yeah.
It used to be like I had to Google it to find what fucking menu to go, you know. And then it was hard because I was in a relationship, and then I had to get like, I don't want to advertise I'm single. I just don't want the information on it.
Right.
So I had to be careful there. And then I had like this funny idea because you can tag people, right? You're in a relationship with so and so. And I was trying to do a joke because I wanted to be like Joseph Louis Vaughn is in a relationship with stand-up comedy. It's like, and I couldn't. I'm like, I couldn't find anything to tag as that because otherwise it would just post in a relationship and everyone would be like, ooh, and like, nah. I'd rather have it be a joke. And like,
That is pretty funny.
and
I
like,
that.
I mean, there's some that are memes, you know, that are still like, you know, Tom Anderson is still single. It's
Yeah.
just shit like that, you know.
We don't have to talk about this anymore.
No, we don't.
It's fine.
But apps have like, it's weird, you know. We talked about Facebook, but like dating, it's just, man, I didn't get onto a dating app until I got divorced, and that was about 3 years ago. And I was really hesitant on Tinder, but then it was just kind of one of these like, here we go. I can't believe I'm doing this, you know. And now it's like the norm that everyone's just on it. And you've told me too, where it's like every single wedding. I don't know if there's a wedding you can remember that you shot that was like, no, we met in high school or we met
Yeah.
through a friend.
I think that I noticed a big change between like 2009 and 2000, let's call it 11, where it wasn't all of them that were online, where they met up or found each other for the first time. But that's when I started to notice a significant number of a significant increase, I guess I should say. And now I think it's even more so. Maybe I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
maybe 80%.
It's kind of the
people?
norm, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the norm. And like when I was going through my divorce, it was kind of tricky territory because that's when I first started getting on apps, and I started running into. I didn't really want to tell that many people right off the bat. I was still processing everything,
Right.
You know, so I was still kind of keeping. Like I wore my wedding ring for a while still, and I think I was actually just making up shit. Like I think I took it off. And then I was like, oh no, I lost weight and just didn't want to lose it, you know, just made up shit, you know, or I gained weight, was starting to get whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And so there was like, I was starting to run into coworkers and I'm like, shit, they think I'm married. So I have to talk to this person. And I had to bring it up to one coworker and say, here's the deal. I don't want to embarrass you. I am on some dating apps currently. I just recently got a divorce. I did see your profile, which means you're probably going to see me. And I didn't want you to think that I'm like cheating on my wife and this is the real. And so she was she's really nice. It was really funny. And she was kind of embarrassed because she's like, oh, I'm not really on it, but that's like what I use when I go traveling. So I'm saying, I was like, okay. I'm just telling you so you don't think I'm a weirdo, but you do. I'm like, okay, all right.
And then she's like, so what are you doing later?
Right. I'm like, not working with you.
Traveling.
So that was funny to hear from her perspective that she's like, no, I use that when I'm going out and about.
That's funny.
But it was weird. It was weird that I was starting to run into coworkers.
Do you have to set it? This is one, I've never been on one of those apps because Becky and I met in
real life?
Yeah, in real life. It was just after the 1900s. It
Yeah.
wasn't in the 1900s. Does it follow you where you go? Or
Yeah.
do you set it to an area? Like if you were to drive up to Minnesota, do you then show up in Minnesota?
Yes.
Or
Both. So you can set a radius of
Okay.
your location and how far, 100 miles, I don't know. It depends on the app. But
Yeah.
you can set a radius of where do you want, like, for me, I'm like, what's worth my time? Do I want 45 minutes away or 40 miles away is Des Moines?
Okay.
It's not the worst, but I'd prefer somewhere closer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But you're also limiting yourself that much more. So around our neck of the woods, it's a little trickier to find someone because we're not in a big city where we can just go to the coffee shop or meet up there, you know? So you set the radius, but once you show up in a different town, you hit refresh and it's the same radius. It's just where you're at.
Okay.
So like when we went down to Kentucky like a year ago, I was just more curious as to like this will never happen, but here swipe,
Yeah.
swipe. And then I got some matches on the way home where I'm like, hey, how are you? Hey, and we're just talking. I'm like, well, I live in Iowa, so that's not going to work, you know.
I'm not there anymore.
And it says 5,000 miles away. I'm like, all right, you're fun. Okay. I've never had luck on Bumble. That's where the girl gets the first.
Yeah.
You know, I've matched with a couple girls, and that's where it shows their profile in a circle, and around the circle of their profile, it's like a little timer. So you can check in. It says so-and-so has 24 hours to respond to your match if she's interested.
Okay.
So it's kind of like gives the guy false hope of like, no.
It's the dopamine, Joe.
That's what gets you checking and swiping.
Yep.
You want to?
No good.
No, I never had.
For those of you listening, Joe shook his head
I'm just like,
out of frustration.
it's like I want to swipe with you tonight.
I enjoyed. It was fun for me when Paul would visit, and I think he was on Bumble. I think that
Sure.
was the one that he was on, and he would just kind of like give it to me to show
Check
me,
it. Yeah,
you
here
know,
you go.
the people in the area, and it's just weird.
Yeah,
It's so strange, but it's great that it works.
I think Bumble would work
But
better if we
isn't
lived in a
that
bigger.
so weird that
It
you,
is.
like everyone's so used to it now, but the fact that you just scroll through
Yeah.
people like nope, sure, nope,
Yeah.
nope.
It's a catalog. It's just a catalog.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. And like I was thinking of making a
I
bit
love
out of it.
catalogs.
Some are different because some like Tinder, it's just mugshot. And if you're interested, then there's like 3 or 4 different pictures you can go through. But it's that first impression. And then you're like, fuck no. And then there's Hinge. And Hinge is more kind of like face. You have about 4 or 5 different, you scroll through it. So you have a face. And then you scroll through and it says like, what is my most irrational fear? Getting stuck in an elevator. And you can have the opportunity to comment on anything. And that's the way of sending a like to somebody.
Oh, okay.
So I've had the most
So
luck
it's
on
like
that
you
one.
responding to something that
Yeah.
they put out there.
And being like, hey, that's a cute dress. Where was that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I went to this event and da, 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 and then it gets the conversation going. So some are like kind of
like
like
a lot of work.
Facebook. Yeah. But I wanted to like write a bit on, I need to actually like write some stuff down that I've seen, but it's like Tinder's the one that's most comical to me.
Yeah.
Because it's like that's where you get the most like aggressive people.
Well-
in a way where it's like if you can't keep up with me, then I don't want. And I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure every single woman on that app has a fucking dog because I've never seen a woman with a cat. And every single, like almost every girl with a dog said, you must love dogs. And if you don't get along with my dog, then it's probably not going to work out. And it's just like, Jesus, like, okay. And then it's
At
like,
least they're being real about it.
yeah, I like someone who challenges me. I'm like, what are you?
Can I challenge your love of dogs?
Yeah, like it's just like the wording of some of these, and then there's people with like a really terrible, just one shot. You think you're gonna like? I can do better, like for you, like
Yeah.
where it's just one shitty photo of their face, and that's it. Just one, you know, like diversify. Come on,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, but then, like, if it's based on photos and we have all these fucking filters out there, I mean, you've run into this, I know,
Yeah.
that you thought that somebody was going to look a certain way, and then you met and you're like, you're not like your picture
Right.
at all.
Yeah,
I wonder how much of that is actually out there.
sure.
Because you haven't gone on that many dates, but let's say if you've gone on 5 and that was one of them, is that 20% of people that just straight up like their pictures aren't
Up to
like
date.
what they are at all?
I wouldn't say
or,
cat- that
or
sounds-
not even necessarily up to date. Yeah, it's not like
It's not
it's-
catfishing.
well, it's not like you show up and it's a dude or something.
Right,
Like
right.
I get that, but you can lie so easily through a photo.
Right. Where it's like this is as much as you're seeing.
Yeah,
And then
and
you get
with the right app,
Right.
and the right filter.
you could be anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
For real though,
some you can
I mean,
sniff out.
they've got fucking things. When I just what was it, like 3 weeks ago? I was seeing my brother-in-law what he could put his face over Keanu Reeves
Yeah, I've seen
And-
that
and-
technology.
and it looks realistic.
Yeah,
Like you can fucking lie your ass off with a photo.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're gonna get found out if you do meet people, but then it's almost harder for the person that goes to meet them because unless you're a piece of shit generally and you call them out right then and there and walk out, you're stuck for at least dinner or
Yeah,
whatever.
you're like, fine.
And it right?
Yeah, it's different. And
I
it's
don't know,
like,
man.
you know, fast forward to a lot of these sites, you got to be a certain age to have, but you can still lie about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but
You should go the other way. First of all, I want you to finish what you're saying, but you showed me the thing the other day where you could be bald
oh,
in a picture.
Yeah.
So you should put that out there, pictures of you being bald.
Oh, that's
and
scary.
And then it's a pleasant surprise for anyone you go and meet.
Where is it? Yeah. Y'all probably seen this if you listen to it, but yeah, here we go.
Or are you taking one now?
There we go. So I don't know if that shows up well.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You can see it.
But yeah, I mean, that looks, if you're glancing at it, it looks pretty realistic.
Yeah.
Like, what's mom say? Steaks will be ready at 6. Oh shit, 6:14. All right. Anyway,
What time is it now?
6:14.
Oh, so I think we got to wrap
That's
it
okay.
up.
But no, I was thinking,
Got to wrap it up.
what we kind of came up differently. Where yes, their internet wasn't really a thing for dating, you
Right.
know. And I guess until 10 years ago, like when Tinder started popping up and other apps, you know, it's
Yeah.
like, I'm wondering, like, you know, I got a nephew that's 5 and you got a daughter that's 12.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's that is it just going to be apps? I mean, like, they have the opportunity to actually meet someone. That's cool. But it's
Yeah.
like, it's just a different generation. I don't know.
I know that in this house we're gonna have things not total lockdown,
Right.
But there's gonna be some distance between people and the apps,
Right.
And, you know, I feel, and it hasn't been an issue right now or in the past.
Because I'm like, if I had
but-
that shit in high school or,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Oh,
weird story. I don't know.
if I not even the apps, if I had a digital camera that I could send pictures to friends or girlfriends and vice versa,
Yeah. Right? Hard drives would be full. Just like,
no. If I had the capability to take HD video with my
It's just
I'm
like-
I'm not even trying to make this dirty.
No,
it's
but-
just that's where your mind's gonna go. And I was fucking 17.
yeah.
I
And now you're like, how do you parent that? How do you, like,
just good values, I guess. and be open and honest about things with your kids. That's really all that you can do. Because ultimately they're going to make the decision one way or another. And hope that what you taught them about
sits in there?
yeah. And the things that you teach them, the values, letting them know that they are more important than this is a whole other big conversation, but
I'm just curious,
yeah. We could talk about that at another time. Your food's ready, man.
That's right.
You gotta go.
Steak.
Tenderloin. Can't wait.
Packers
fan.
are on
Not
tonight
a
too.
fan.
So
Thank God.
Packers versus Saints, 7:20.
I'm rooting for the Saints,
Fuck you.
and I don't. That Saints are. Don't tell me.
They're
New Orleans.
they're marching in. Yes.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm glad I got that right. Well, I know where the Packers are from because I've been there several times. The Saints are New Orleans. I'm glad I remembered that one. Were they the ones that the stadium was? messed
Yeah,
up
for the
in
hurricane,
Katrina?
one of these, yeah, and then they
yeah.
went on to win the Super Bowl, and it was
Yeah.
like this big. Oh my God, what a story! You know,
Nice.
It's like wow. So
Did they win?
they won the Super Bowl that year because it
Nice.
was like this big.
I remember the thing happening. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember if they won or anything.
The
like
one
that.
story I wanted to be true was the Minnesota Vikings. Now I follow Packers, but the Minnesota Vikings had their brand new stadium, and then they announced they were going to host the Super Bowl,
Okay.
whatever year, and that's when the Vikings made it to. If they won this game, they would have gone to the Super Bowl, but they lost that game. I don't know but they would have had the Super Bowl on home turf in their new stadium. That didn't happen. Where it's like, damn, that would have been freaking cool, man.
This is not how I expected this episode
to end. Dating, sports,
but we're done. We'll be back soon.
Rock and roll, guys. Good to see you.
All right. Love you long time.
Hope you like the space.
I'll see you soon. See you soon. Bye-bye.